I brought my first dog, a German Shepherd named Sage, to my first meeting with New England Canine in the winter of 1987. It was January and it was about 20 degrees below zero. So I guess I decided that with it that cold, if I could stick it out and the dog could stick it out, maybe I was going to make it. They started in 1981 with a group of 4 people who met with a fellow named Richard Dennis, who had been part of a group called Adirondack Search Dogs. Using dogs as volunteers and working the way we do with AirScent was not very common, and there was nobody else in New England doing it. When he moved to Massachusetts, he was in northern Massachusetts, right on the New Hampshire borderline, he came and thought it was a good idea to start a group. And the first 4 people, one of whom is still with us, Donna Larson, met and began to do the business of organizing it, writing bylaws in 1981. By 1983, they were in a position to offer their services to law enforcement.
I think we bring a very unique resource to searches, which is the AirScent dogs. It's that impression that something's going on 24 hours a day. The search never stops, and we're used mostly at night, so that really gives the family a sense of peace that something's going on.
Doing search and rescue is terrifically important at the moment someone is lost or missing, but relative to all the other things that happen in law enforcement, it would be very expensive for a community to maintain and train people just for this particular task. So having a group of volunteers who don't cost the community anything is a wonderful resource without burdening taxpayers. At the same time, it gives those folks like myself and the other members of the team who love working with dogs, who like being outdoors, and want to do something that's community service related, a way to really join with them in a win-win situation, to provide a real emergency service without it being such a burden to the taxpayer that they can't really choose it for themselves.
New England Canine is important to the surrounding communities because she provides a very important service for no charge. I mean, her services are free. More importantly, she provides a service that is unmatched by any other organization that has tracking dogs. Her dogs and her team can respond to a situation, and what you get when she arrives is a professional bunch of people with highly trained dogs to conduct search missions. It's actually the best in the business for absolutely no cost.
They're very helpful to law enforcement agencies because they provide something that we cannot take care of ourselves. They are what is known as a canine air scenting team. Law enforcement canines in the state of Vermont are typically and traditionally trained to be patrol dogs. They work on apprehension and specialize in other areas such as drug detection. So New England Canine gives us a specialty with canines that is called air scenting. We know that they will search large pieces of land for us looking for someone who is considered out of place.
Whenever we're doing a search related incident, they bring skills that enable us to have an efficient mission and a skill of the AirScent dogs that aren't available through other agencies. Her team is very important to me because she actually makes my job easier. She provides a service to me that operates separately from anything that I'm doing. She has her own team arrive, she has her own mapping group. We have a very good working relationship and understanding of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. We meet briefly. I give her all the information on this particular mission that I'm on, the person that we're looking for, and I have nothing to worry about after that. Her team will conduct their searches separate from the rest of the organization. On more than one occasion, her dogs and her people have literally saved lives in situations where I've had people in line searches actually walk by folks. Her dogs have come in behind us and picked these people up.
We will activate this team upon receipt and evaluation of a request that we receive across our state for search. New England Canine is regarded as a Type 1 search and rescue resource. Aside from being considered fit and fast, well organized, and along with what they bring to the table, they have a quick response time and they are essentially used in emergency situations.
We've been involved in not only the events of the searches themselves, some of which have been very high profile, but after 9/11, some of our teams went down, 5 of us, went down to help see if we could continue the search for human remains in the debris from Ground Zero. We didn't actually go to Ground Zero. After that was searched and they were sure there were no more recoveries to be made, the entire debris of the buildings was moved to the closed Fresh Kills landfill in Staten Island. And we were looking for human remains that were collected and saved, hoping that they might be able to match DNA to those that were missing.
This organization is a critical component in any search organization. They provide to us a specialty that is needed and recognized across the country.
We work year-round, we're available year-round, but winter with heavy snow is a very low call-out period for us because the dogs can't move very well. We can't put snowshoes on the dogs. So we work 3 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and during that our search call-out has been between 50 and 60 searches a year. We cover 2 states, Vermont and New Hampshire.
Based on the information we get right at the onstart, we'll probably give them a call right off to maybe not request their assistance, but to put them on a standby so that they know we're working on an incident and we'll be getting back in touch with them. It kind of gets the ball rolling a little quicker.
Usually within an hour to 2 hours, we have 5 to 10 dog teams at the search location, at which point we work with law enforcement in New Hampshire Fish and Game and in Vermont State Police, and work out where they would like dogs to go, because there are going to be all kinds of resources responding, helicopters, ground searchers. Each group of searcher has a different specialty area, and at that point I'm assigning dogs and handlers to large pieces of land. Frequently this is at night, so we're heading into the woods in an unknown area, which is why we depend so much on our map and compass and GPS systems.
Here in New Hampshire we're very unique. We work with multiple volunteer organizations, people who donate their time, energy and money into providing a professional volunteer search and rescue service. So we interact with all of those groups monthly, if not weekly, on missions throughout the state, and they're all professionals in their own right.
I've gone across the state and I see a lot of dogs, a lot of canine handlers, a lot of canine teams. There is a wide range of expertise and proficiency that these teams bring. I get a chance to see that myriad of activity, and I can say this, that we're really fortunate to have law enforcement provide this kind of service.
I have a couple of favorite parts about working with New England Canine. First of all, they're great folks to work with. They're extremely friendly. They're incredibly accommodating. I have a passion for dogs. A lot of us in Fish and Game love animals, and I have a particular passion for dogs. Our dogs are just a joy to work with. They're highly skilled. She makes my job much easier because she takes an incredible load of stress off of us, because we know that when she's deployed, we've got the best in the business out there looking.
I think the most favorite part I have with working with this team is the degree of organization that they bring. They are very well organized. They have excellent leadership. They work as a very tight team, a very tight-knit group. That is, from my perspective, the level of work that I do today in all areas of the state police is something that is appreciated and fun to watch.
They're safe people to work with. They're knowledgeable. They train a great deal. They work basically in the same manner that we do, and by that I mean we're using the same mapping system, the same GPS system. So it gloves together very well. It's almost like she's part of our organization.
The training, being with the dogs in the woods and seeing how much they love the work and how much you can actually be a partner with an alien species. You can dance with them. You can get to a point where it's nonverbal. You both know what you're doing, and when it goes right, it really is like dancing. It's fluid. You don't know where you start and end, and you don't know where they start and end. They love the work, and it's tremendous fun if you like to hike and be in the woods to be out.
It's kind of twofold. It's a team working with the other handlers at trainings and the way that we all interact and we all get along really well. But then when you get out on an actual search, you're part of a team, but it's just you and your dog in that relationship with the dog. So not only interacting and training with other people, but working with the dogs.
The other part, of course, is when all of that work and effort, both individually with your dog and as a group of people, because we're only as good as our least experienced dog team in the woods on any particular night when someone's missing. When you hear on the radio that they have what we call a green tag, which means they've made the find and that the person is alive and okay, that also makes it worth it.
With my interactions with them, they come to me, they're a totally responsible, self-contained organization. They're highly skilled, they practice a lot, and it's made themselves very efficient. The fun part is we work together for so many years. Even during the stressful times of a search and rescue mission, we still enjoy our work, and I think we work very fluidly together, and that enjoyment and also knowing that when they come, their confidence and my confidence in them. There's been many times they've made successful finds for us, which has certainly made our jobs easier. So just our personal interaction and our personal contacts with the members of the organization. And
Nancy is just a joy to work with. Nancy and her people are just fun to work with. They're very easygoing people. You know, some of the situations that we put those folks in, you're putting them out in dark, they're searching all night, they're in terrible terrain. You just never hear them complain. They do what they came there to do. They're very passionate about what they do, and they're very good at it.
When someone comes to us and has shown an interest in joining, we actually, part of the test is not only determining whether that person is really capable of doing the work, both mentally and physically, but whether the dog that they want to work with is also capable. And whether they're a puppy or whether they are a young adult dog, we're looking for two really important natural behaviors.
And we actually have a test that we can give the puppies at about 7 weeks old, and you can tell what their drives are. You want a high prey drive, which means they're going to chase an object and they're not afraid of objects like a set of keys. And are they going to bring it back or run away with it? How they do you can put them under a certain amount of pressure, nothing that harms them, but see how they react to that pressure, because it is pretty stressful.
We train dogs, we meaning humans, train dogs in two different manners to find people. One is called tracking and trailing, and that's the one you see on all the TV shows and movies, and you give the dog something that smells like the missing person, and you're asking the dog to smell that and play match it. You smell this, you find where this person has walked. That's the really best first response for a dog, but it has to be done quite early because that information is only small pieces of skin that have fallen off the person while they're going. That can be destroyed by wind and weather and contamination, everybody walking all over it. The other way is the way our dogs work, which can be done at any point. If someone is out in the woods somewhere, whether they're moving or laying down, whether they're living or deceased, they are still shedding skin and giving off odor. That odor is carried on the air. So our dogs, our air scent dogs, are hunting the air for the person who's out of place. And ours is a way of using a dog as a hunting dog, only the target isn't a bird, it isn't a deer, it isn't a bear, it's a human, and then the human is even more specific. It's someone who's in distress, down on the ground, out of place. And the dogs, if we set our training up, are very sophisticated and can figure that out. They have been given no scent article. Our dogs aren't matching to any particular person. They're matching more to environment and behavior of the missing person. Our dogs work off lead. They are roaming in and out of sight of us. If they smell somebody, they're going to go leave us. They're going to find the person. Then they're going to come back and tell us. Lots of dogs love the finding part. It's very natural, but they've got to want to tell us. Now that's a trained behavior, but if you have a dog that doesn't care about sharing that information, there's almost nothing you can do to make them want to share when they're a quarter of a mile away from you. I always say with kids when I'm doing classes for them that not only do the dogs love the work, but they are really inexpensive when it comes to paychecks. My dogs both get to finish off a little jar of meat baby food, which they adore, and then both my dogs get to play Frisbee, which they love. But different dogs tell you what game they like to play. Ours is a game reinforcement generally, and it may be food and game. Some dogs want both. And it's usually a chasing type game. Some dogs will just pick up a stick and want you to play stick toss. One dog wants a particular squeaky ball. He doesn't even want you to particularly throw it. He just wants to carry it around and squeak it until you just about want to pull your hair out. We let the dogs tell us what matters to them, and then we play with that toy with them. But part of it is just the interaction between the handler and the dog, saying, not patting, but it's more of a game for them.
Each one of my dogs has been different. Eli, he's my German Shepherd right now. He likes little squeaky toys. He also will like food rewards. Mostly he's a squeaking fanatic.
This is my 20th year with New England Canine Search and Rescue. I keep jokingly say I want another 10 years with it. I'm not going to be a youngster in 10 years. So my hope, because I'm in a leadership position within the organization, is that we can continue to maintain the really high level of skill and respect that we have earned from the law enforcement community, and that we will be able to bring in new members who will continue the organization because we have come to provide such an important service. I'd like to be able to continue to do that when those of us who started it aren't as agile in the woods anymore.
I feel like we're in a really good place in both New Hampshire and Vermont. I think it's just about the perfect situation. My hope would be that after some of the older team members leave, that people carry on in the same tradition. It's really important.
I've seen them over the years advance very well to where they're at. I guess for the future with them is I would see if maybe they could expand, not so much on their abilities. It's kind of limited on what resources we need here in New Hampshire. And whenever there is a new advancement in technology or anything, they're one of the first to be right up on the forefront of attaining that. So I would, always like to see, especially this group, stay ahead of that, and maybe look to getting themselves some more members. Again, trying to keep their standards as high as they can if they were to put more members on. But if they had more members, maybe in all the times that we call them out, maybe it wouldn't be the same people. They'd be able to get a break once in a while, because we do utilize them a lot.
My hopes for that team is that we will have a long and successful career together. I'd like to see her in the future get more funding from our agency. I'd like to see that happen. I think it will. Because again, a lot of these folks are committing their own time, their own gas money to come do this, and I'd like to see us step up at some point when we can get more financially sound to help her to continue to do that. I don't ever want to see it go by the wayside, because it's a valuable resource that we couldn't do without.
The one thing that I'm always quick, and it comes easy to mind for me, is that I will take the opportunity at any time, and I'll do so now, to express our appreciation on behalf of the state of Vermont, the Vermont State Police, and our citizens. We owe a debt of gratitude to these folks for what they do to come and help us.
For those of us who do this and stay with it, there's no question it becomes an obsession. All of us spend as much time as we can doing this. It's not, certainly it's a community service gift that we want to give, but it's also our recreation and our passion. It's something that we love to do.
The one thing that people don't understand, and I see this at every rescue I go to, is they don't understand, and I don't know that they do when I'm done talking to them, they don't understand why people like Nancy's team does this kind of thing, and does it for no money, for no financing, And I think that's the most incredible part of what she does. They're a highly skilled team, and it amazes me that they're willing to do this all on their own. And I think, the people in New Hampshire are very fortunate that we have people like that are dedicated for that and want to help to that degree and level. So, I want people to understand that a lot of what they do is completely out of the goodness of their heart, and that's pretty incredible today, I think.
All I can say is find a way to give something back to the world around you without reckoning it in terms of how much you get paid to do it. And it will become a passion for you, because it's something we all need to be doing. The deepest part of our value system is belonging to the group in a meaningful way. And so volunteer service is a way to do that. There are lots of ways in which to do it. Find something that also truly interests you, and then you can be happily obsessed about doing something.